I am so dead at watching you. Wow. Where is this thing? I gotta take it off. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Exes, Friends, and Frenemies. When love ends, but the drama doesn't. Welcome. This is Good Day Gay. I am your host, Russell Ray, along with my co-host, Paulie B. What up, Paulie B? How's your week going?
It's been busy, actually. My week's been busy. It's been full on. Work's been full on. Had like my work Christmas show on Friday, so hadn't drank that much in ages. And you know, like in your 30s, you just can't drink like that anymore. Do you know what I mean?
It hurts. It
like you
hurts
just
so bad.
You can't. Like I had one beer, and then after that one beer, I was like, I feel lit. And then I had like 15 drinks, and I was like, I'm lit. I can't do this.
I had one glass of rosé last night, and I was like, I've really pulled back on my drinking a lot. So I'm like, I'm buzzed. Like this was rough. It was like maybe a glass and a half. Like, and if you're Mexican, it was just one full glass, right?
Yeah.
Because we're heavy-handed. Yeah. So I feel you. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, do I want to go to the gym? I'm like, ugh.
You did.
I guess so. We got to get this workout plan going, which I have good news. I'm up 7 pounds.
Nice.
So your boy is at officially 201.5.
That's like 3 kilos? 3 kilos?
Yeah,
2.5.
3 kilos.
Yeah, 3 kilos. Nice. So
also, we are for the first time. We are on live. We are live on Instagram Live, as well as YouTube, as well as Facebook. Yes. So I wish I could tag you. I wonder. Let me.
Want me to see if it works? I was going to say, let me just go and
quick.
Yeah.
Or see if you can request to join. Oh. But I think it would record you personally.
Because then it'll just be me here like this.
Tag you.
I don't know if people just want to see me sitting there talking to a computer.
Look, y'all, we're millennials, so we're like we're getting at that age where it's like we're trying to figure it out. But if you're new to this, welcome. This is Good Day Gay. You can stream us on Instagram. I'm sorry, we have an Instagram at Good Day Gay Pod. You can stream us on YouTube. You can stream us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you may listen. We are worldwide at this point. Paul is in Australia. I am in Southern California. So without further ado, let's get right into it, because this episode is going to be ugly, and we're talking about the faces of our exes. Okay. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about exes.
Yeah, because you just said their face. Do you ever sometimes just think like, why did I date that person?
Yes, all the time.
Yes, straight up. Yes.
There's a few of them, and I'm like, what was I thinking? Not a few of them. I don't get around. Look, it's Christmas, but I ain't no ho ho ho. Okay.
But also, you're not gonna date an ugly person. Like I feel like we wouldn't date down. We as in I just lumped you with me. I just lumped you and I.
Let's talk about that for a second. Is that pretentious that we would say that we're not going to date down?
I think it's confidence. I think it's confidence in myself, who we are. I'm lumping you in with me again. I think it's confidence who we are, and that if you are seen with us, then good for you.
What is considered dating down on your behalf? Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question, because one, like, you can go superficial with the question to be like, they don't have that, like they don't have X amount of money, or they don't have the looks. Like you can go superficial, or you can go like, or you can go deep to be like, dating down is emotionally you guys just weren't compatible, or I don't know, age wise you might be like older, they might be younger, or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's very different.
Okay, what's your definition? What's your personal definition of dating down?
This is really, oh my gosh.
Well, hello, this is Good Day Gay, so we're trying to make everybody have a good day.
Okay.
We're trying to
I don't
start that
know.
week off with some good drama.
Okay, we're starting the drama. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. We're live everywhere. And I'm just gonna say it. Dating down. Dating down. I think one thing that's could be superficial about me is that the fantasy of like me and my future partner, of like me looking good next to him and him looking good next to me, like complementing each other. And so
Mhm.
like dating down would be like if the other person didn't compliment me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
My
That's not
definition
bad.
of
That's not
my
mean.
definition
That's
of
not mean.
dating down isn't technically, it's not the guy from the Goonies per se. That is so
You've
rude.
brought that up so many times.
That's just a perfect reference because it just gives people a visual. Okay. So my definition of dating down is someone who has zero motivation, zero ambition, takes
Mm,
zero pride in their look. We could work around. Look, I'm not the best looking person, but like I get it together. I brush my hair. I'm trying a new cut, right? I'm going curly. But you dress nice, you take care of yourself, you make yourself look good, and there's
mm,
this sense of confidence behind it. But what I cannot do is I cannot date someone who is just frumpty dumpty all the way around. Like outfit, doesn't like to does has no drive. They're just kind of existing and not
mm.
living. I
Okay.
need to be with someone who is living, with a heartbeat and a pulse, which I have now. So that's good, right? But let's talk about the exes because that's the
Let's talk
reason
about
we're
the
all on this.
exes.
And hopefully none of them log on right now. We're on Instagram Live, so.
It'll be your ex because when I'm not live on mine, well, he doesn't even
Okay,
follow me
so
anymore.
let's get into, can you be friends with your exes, and then I'll get into one viewer question because I have a few viewer questions for the
I love that.
entirety of today's episode, but
I
we'll get
love
into
that.
this. Why is your ex your ex? What happened and why did they end up in the place that they're at with you right now, whether you're friends or not?
Okay. So I think like I was thinking about this during the week, and I think that, well, first of all, as well, given that we're millennials and, you know, dating these days, sometimes, well, these days, a lot of people don't get into like committed relationships, if that makes sense. So I
Mm,
think, other than acknowledging that, you know, an ex could be a boyfriend, like an official boyfriend or an official partner,
uh-huh.
like an ex can also be these days someone that you've had romantic involvement with, or maybe even sexual involvement with, something where you had some kind of feelings towards someone. Maybe the feelings were mutual as well. So I just want to
Okay.
put it out there that maybe when we're talking about exes, we're not just talking about official boyfriends, but we're also talking about like that connection that you might have had with someone.
So feeling
um
in connection is important.
Feeling a connection is important, so
Okay.
that's where
So a
I've
hookup is just
gone.
nothing. That's not considered next to you.
Exactly, no, because if
Okay.
you're going around saying that your hookup is your boyfriend or your hookup is your ex, then y'all crazy.
You got you got some more problems that we need
You
to
got some
address on a different
other
podcast.
problems that we're gonna do in episode 15. We're gonna talk about crazy gays.
Yep.
Um, so I think realistically, you can't be friends with someone, or you can't hold a connection with someone if you, one, still have romantic feelings toward them, or like romantic sexual feelings towards this person, or
Mhm.
if you hold a level of contempt toward them. I
Mm.
don't think you can be friends with someone that you were previously involved with if you have a level of contempt, or if you have a level of romanticism towards them. So I guess I'll just say it right now. Like, I don't think I could be friends with my ex because, although, as long, everything takes time, right? Like, everything always takes time. But I
Yes.
think over time, even if the contempt, like, I've been single for 4 years now, and the level of contempt that I hold towards my ex has decreased. But I think I'll
Mhm.
always have a level of contempt towards him, which is sad to say. I don't want to say that, but I think that's the reality.
So I have a viewer question or a listener question,
Love it.
and it says,
Oh my gosh, I'm
"Hey,
scared.
Paul and Russell, me and my ex are friends. We sometimes hook up. but we know that there's nothing in between us. Our past is our past, but it's always good to get the pipes cleaned somewhere that's familiar, that I know the person takes care of themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
I have no issue with getting the pipes cleans with familiar tools. Is that a good way to say it? I have no issue with getting the pipes clean with familiar tools, but my question back to the listener is, what if when one of you start dating? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if hypothetically I'm still hooking up with my ex and then I start dating? Personally, I wouldn't want to keep my ex around because I wouldn't want my future partner to feel less than, if that makes sense. But it depends on the situation. It obviously depends on the situation, but like, what if you start dating someone, or what if they start dating someone? We're gonna fight in this episode, Russ. No.
We have a viewer comment on Instagram Live, and it said,
Yeah.
my ass would get emotionally attached, and I ain't built that way. Okay, look, let's just talk about this. Okay, so
Yeah, tell me.
The person that messaged me, obviously, everyone requests to remain anonymous, and I get it.
Anani
all day. Anani all day.
Anani.
So, I personally couldn't do that. If you're going to be hooking up with your ex, that is 100% blurring the lines. And so I think you need to make space for difference to come into your life. Yes. Holding space. And I think you also need to give them distance from you before you can move forward on a friendship at all.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with
time
that.
to heal and close out that chapter of your relationship, in order to progress in any other way.
Yes.
Because the LGBT community is so tight, and you're gonna run into someone left or right. Let me tell you, the amount of people that I have run into that not necessarily pertaining me, but pertaining one of my exes. It's like boom, 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 boom. They're everywhere, and I'm like, whoa, what is happening? Why are you like? Am I drawing this to my aura? And Shane.
Well, we were
like, no, it just happens.
But that's exactly right, because you and I were talking about it as well when we were discussing the episode. That photo, it's like a group of gays, and it's literally like me, my new boyfriend, my ex, my ex's new boyfriend. Yeah, like everyone's connected in the photo. Like, that's not my group of friends.
Yes,
it's not my group of friends. No, I had to like do it like
mental never be register.
Mine. But that's just the gay community these days. And I just want to, again, acknowledge what you just said, because I think that's so true, that when you end something with someone, you do have to give yourself some space from them, because I think that helps you to heal. So maybe you can go back to the person and be like, look, we can physically just have sex and do nothing more than sex, but at least you've given yourself the time to like heal from the romantic scars and all of that kind of stuff. So I feel so mature this morning.
I'm not into it. I think you are very mature. However, going back to the question, I understand the mentality.
Okay, what's the question again? Sorry, can you ask the question again?
The question, let me just summarize it for you. The question was, the person and their ex are friends. They do have relations with each other because the viewer knows that their ex keeps himself healthy, clean. They're on their routine. So I can understand being drawn to the safety of it, because obviously in the 1990s and the 1980s, HIV was just out of control, and they were trying to get it under control. So being with someone who is regularly taking their PrEP, or even if you're positive undetectable, is regularly taking their Trimeq and their vitamins and everything that comes along with it, that person is, you can trust them. And that's why I feel our listener is drawn to that. However, this is just me personally. I want to know more about you before I decide to move forward in any way with you, because I need to know if you're not only if you're going to be, laying in the bed with someone, number one, but number two, if I'm going to be going out with you and just in general in public, I need to know if you're messy. I need to know if you can handle your liquor. I need to know if you're emotional, because all of those things are a turn off to me. I can't deal with it. I'd rather be around a fun drunk than an emotional drunk, or a drunk that wants to just have a deep conversation. When you are drunk, that is not the time to have a deep conversation. Let me tell you. I've had people 2 inches in, like, from my face that's like, and you just don't understand. I'm like, I don't want to understand. Okay, I don't need to understand. One of the people on our Instagram live said, totally get it, but I kind of think that's an excuse to stay attached at some level.
Yeah.
LOL, girl, that's just me though. And
So
then
I'm
my
gonna
comment, they said,
answer.
yes,
Yeah.
same.
I'm gonna answer the question in the way that I started the podcast, because accountability. Um, I would only be one, if I again didn't like my ex, I wouldn't be sleeping with them. Two, if I still had feelings with my ex, then I would sleep with them. So the only reason I would sleep with my ex is if I still had feelings with them. So yeah, that's it for me. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing because of your response. It's like, it's just the way that you characterize, or like the way that you summarized it was funny to me. But again, I'm not trying to, even if I was single, I wouldn't go down that, because that's playing with
Yeah,
fire. You know
exactly.
what I
And
mean?
that's what I mean. Like, if I'm still sleeping with my ex, then you need to call me and be like, what are you doing? Stop. Get away. Walk away. Like, because it's just stupid. Like you said, playing with fire.
You're playing with fire. Literally, you could be burning later. So just don't get involved.
Next
Moving,
question.
moving, moving on. So are you in any friendships with your exes currently? Because that is a common trend in the LGBTQ community.
Okay, so again, if I'm talking official exes, no.
Yes. Okay.
If I'm talking people that I had situationships with, no, but I would say hello to them, if that makes sense. I would say hello. I would
You're
ask them
friendly.
how they're going. I'm friendly. I'm
Yeah.
acquainted. Is that a word? Acquainted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Acquainted is fine.
I would say that. Situationships, acquainted, official exes, no. You?
I We're not besties, but we're good, right? Because like
Okay.
I've given
Mm.
myself time to heal, and so
Mm.
we're good. I can run into them. We can have a drink or two when we're out. But am I personally making phone calls? It's like, hey, come over and hang out. No,
Mm.
not
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's just not. It's that's not gonna work. It's I already have a headache
I've
thinking about
I think it's that saying. It's that saying. It's like, people are in your life for a lifetime, a reason, or a
or a
season.
season.
And
100%.
definitely exes situationships usually tend to fall within that reason season.
Mhm.
Very rarely would they be in the lifetime area as just a friend, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Very rarely, I think. Depending on where you're at on your level of, I don't know, mature. I'm just gonna keep saying holding space because I love Wicked. Um, depending on where you're at in like how you hold space towards your ex. Mm.
I think again, I did have someone reach out recently, because I did post on Instagram whether they were friends with their exes, why or why not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is important to touch on too. Some people leave relationships because they're toxic, and some people want to get
Mm.
away from that because they make them not physically safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, this person has to remain anonymous, of course, but
Anani.
um, that was a kind of a serious conversation that I had last night, and we were messaging back and forth, and it was just one of those situations where it's like, of course I'm not going to be friends with my ex because they weren't, um they would throw these temper tantrums and they would break things, which in turn made me
Mm.
feel
Safety,
insecure and not safe, so I had to get out of that relationship.
of course.
And then I had another conversation last night, and this one might be interesting for you, to respond to. So it was first a question, and I asked, why not are you friends with your ex? They said, yes, of course I'm friends with my ex. And I said, of course, like, what does that mean? They said that they're friends with their ex because they were able to grieve the loss of their relationship, but they started off as friends. They were better as friends after, and because they were so close, that person, which is their ex, had a relationship with that individual's nephews, and so they stay around, and the other person also has like a small amount of family that they can lean to, or even less hang around the holidays. So they make it very clear, and they encourage each other to go out and start dating. But they make it very clear that they don't want to be together, which I thought that was cool, because I'm like, when kids are involved, this is why people don't like to date with children, right? When kids are involved, it gets sensitive because kids grow attached, and what are you going to do? You can't cut them off, because then it's just abandonment to that child.
Yeah.
So what is your thought on this person staying friends with their ex because there is a relationship with the nephews?
I think that you acknowledged the important part before the fact, which was that they grieved the relationship, and that they grieved the relationship, and they came to the understanding and the reality that they were better off as friends, and that they were friends beforehand. So
yes.
Look, I wonder if I could ever get to that point. Probably not. When this morning, when I was like having breakfast, getting ready for the podcast, I was thinking of you and me again. And I was like, I think you and I were just brought up to be like, nah, if you do us wrong, nah, you're out of our lives.
100%. Look, let me tell you, people that know me, they know it. 2 seconds, I will cut you off. Just snap. You're right there. You're done.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not even having that conversation. We're not friends.
Exactly.
I will block you on everything, and then I will unblock you so I can show you how well my life is doing.
And you know what? Because I'm Russ's friends, I'm gonna block you too.
I know that's right. And that is going into the next conversation, which is frenemies. Frenemies.
Wait, let me just finish
go ahead.
So
okay.
I think because they were able to acknowledge, like, we were better off as friends, we've grieved the relationship, and we're good as friends now, I think that's fine. But I think that they have to like continue to exude that message, because again, if they start dating, it's like, no, look, like, we're literally just friends. Like, I don't see him like that at all. Like, you have to give future partners, future yourself, like that level of confidence that you're just friends.
I was going to say, I think there comes a level of confidence and security that you have to give to your new significant other, so that they can understand that nothing is going to happen. They should be able to trust you in a room alone with that person, knowing that nothing's going to happen, whether it's your ex or whether it's just a friend.
Yeah.
They need to follow the same criterias.
I think that the only way that they potentially got to that space and like maybe confirm, just send a yes to our Instagram if I'm correct here. The only way that they got to that space was because the both of them felt acknowledged in their feelings, if that makes sense. Like,
yes,
the other person was able to say, look, I love you, but I think I love you more as a friend. I don't think we work well together, blah, blah, blah. Like, they took accountability for their actions, and they took accountability for the relationship. Like, that's why I don't think I could be friends with my ex, because I'm just going to leave it there.
You know what? I want to get back to what we were talking about earlier, when it's like, you said you would block people because I blocked them.
I wouldn't do that, actually.
Is that a minority thing? I feel like minorities ride hard for each other. Oh, so all of us, wait a minute. I just caught that. You said you wouldn't do it after you said you would do it. You know what? Y'all, it's been real having Paul on the podcast with us, but we're just going to go ahead and remove him. We're going to find a new co-host.
We didn't even make it to 10 episodes. Now, you know what? I will always have your back, but I think because I'm a Pisces, I'm such a like want to understand the other side of the story, but I'll always have your back. Like, you'll always be.
I dated a Pisces. That was interesting. Let me tell you.
Oh, we're crazy. But like I said in episode 1, do
you have a lot of emotions? When does your birthday fall?
I've got a lot of emotions, and look, yeah.
What's your birthday so that everybody can send you birthday gifts?
I'm March 13.
February 10th, so don't forget.
We're about a month apart. We could have a month-long birthday. We could celebrate your birthday on February 10, continue to celebrate like the both of our birthdays leading up to my birthday. Your birthday's the opening party. My birthday's the closing party of our birthday. We're just creating a gay festival right now.
Yo, I'm here for this.
The G'day Gay Festival.
Lucky said Pisces King sent little heart faces or little heart hands on Instagram Live. Kaylee's underscore tempo said, I'm bi. I'm friends with one of my exes that's a girl, but I would never be friends with one of my guy exes. I have no idea
Interesting.
why I feel like the mutual respect is just different for some reason. I get that. I
Girl
100%
code?
get that.
Girl code maybe? Like girl
I
code?
can't look. The logos are like this small, so I'm like really struggling even just to read the words itself.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I think there is something to be said about gay relationships versus hetero relationships and
Mm,
exes. Whether you're bi, you're straight,
mm,
or you're
mm,
gay,
mm.
it can get messy real fast. Especially
Yeah.
like, look, women can get very territorial. Like, why are you friends with your ex? So that's probably not a good idea. But again, in
Mm.
the gay community, the community is only about yay big. So the little
But
okay
gays can
emoji
get
on
territorial
Instagram
as
and like
well.
the space is this much. Yeah,
But
that's how
gays
big
can
the
get
gay community is.
but
Look,
gays can get territorial as well. Like it's not just women. Gays can get territorial too.
I don't know why you looking at me. Yeah, yes, I can get territorial because you know what? What's mine is mine.
El mío.
um, but let's get into the frenemies aspect about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your definition of a frenemy? My definition of a frenemy is someone who is nasty nice. So someone who's nice in your face, but there's no good intention behind them, or they don't genuinely like you. They're just being nice when you're around.
Yeah, that's the word. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Genuine. Genuine is the word. So again, you could be friends, you could be acquaintances, but there's a level of like genuine. There's a lack of genuinity. Is that a word? Genuinity.
Yes, in the gay dictionary, that's a word.
In the
100%.
G'day Gay dictionary, it's a
In
word.
the good day,
Genuinity.
I can. Did you catch that slip up? My bad.
We have to make that into a reel. Literally, just right there, reel.
Also, everybody who's just joining us in Instagram Live, YouTube, and Facebook, I just want to say thank you for joining. If you're new to this is the Good Day Gay podcast where Paul is live right now in South Australia and I'm live in Southern California. So it's Saturday for us, it's Sunday for him. We are talking about exes, friends, and frenemies when the love ends, but the drama doesn't in the gay community. Even in the straight community, this is a thing too. Do you currently have any frenemies?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Only because like I am the type that I'm 100% genuine and I only want to surround myself with other genuine people because I don't want that energy that's not genuine, if that makes sense. Like even at a party, if I meet someone at a party and I straight away feel like there's a lack of genuinity, then I will walk away. Like I'll politely excuse myself. I won't be a bitch about it, but I'll just politely walk away to be like, I'm gonna go get a drink. Like, oh, is that bitchy? Nah, it's not.
So are you an avoider? So you don't want to be in a bad situation, so you avoid it,
It's not a
are
case
you
of.
the type that just cuts someone off? Like, we'll tell them,
It's not a.
I'm not interested in this conversation or this friendship.
It's not a case of avoiding or anything like that, or ignoring. It's really just what I will hold space for, and I'll only hold space for genuine people in
I
my
hate you
life.
for this.
I
I think
love
that's fair though.
Wicked. Yeah.
I will say I maybe have one or two frenemies.
Okay.
And
What's
by
the dynamic?
frenemies,
Yeah,
the
explain the
reason
dynamic
I
of.
say frenemies is because I have to run into them on a
Mm,
normal basis. And
yeah.
so again, they're nasty nice where they're nice to my face, but I could tell there's no genuine interest in who I am as a person. And so I keep it lit. There's no genuine interest in you as from me either. But I'm not, I try to be nice. So it's hi. I'm not even asking how you're doing. It's just
Yeah.
hi. Like,
Yeah.
hey, how's it
I'm
going?
trying.
Good. All right,
I
I'm gonna be
want.
over here.
I wanted to ask you for like this is how my Pisces brain works. Like I'm listening to you, but I'm imagining things in the
The
back of
situation.
my head. So when you're like, I wanted to ask you for an example of a run-in with your frenemy, and straight away my mind went to that scene in White Chicks where they meet up at the white party or at the party that
Yeah.
when and then they're like, "Hey Heather, Like they're just like that's literally my like picturing of you just then
Look
talking
what
to
the
your
slums
frenemy.
from Slumville brought it to the Hamptons. Yeah. No, I can be cold. I can be real cold. Just
I can see
like
that for you.
not even acknowledge you. Look, if I know you don't
Yeah.
like me, then why do I
Mm.
care? I'd much rather like you, but again, if also a friend of me could be this someone who is trying to infiltrate your life in a certain aspect,
Mm.
but you've already caught it, and so they know you've caught this, so now they're awkward around you, and
Ah,
so
they
you know
know
their true
they've been called
intentions.
out. Yeah, their
Yes,
bullshit has been called out.
yes, and let me tell
Mm.
you, for all the Aquariuses right now that are on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, you all know we already know what it is. And if we ask you a question, we're asking you a question because we already know the answer, not because we're trying to see if you're going to come forth with that answer and if it's going to be the truth. Okay. But we already know and we saw it coming. And then we're those
Mhm.
people who will also watch everything unfold after we told you that it was going to unfold. And we will sit back and we will do our workouts, have our little protein shakes, and watch our hell break loose and be like, don't look
I
over here
think
because I told you that was going to happen.
I think that's why I love Aquarius. Like my best friend is an Aquarius. There's also another Aquarius in my life right now, but I think that because Pisces are the same. Pisces have that intuition of knowing when something is going to happen and
Yes.
seeing it happen unfold. Like that must be why Pisces and Aquarius, we're just like cyclically linked. You're in
So here's
LA,
the
but
thing with
I'm
Pisces and
cyclically
Aquarius.
linked.
They either get along or they don't.
I'm
And
glad
the
we get
same thing
along.
with Aquarius and Taurus and Aquarius and Virgo. Aquarius and Virgo, when they're good, they're good. But when
Mm.
they're like, oh, yo, my arms look so good. um, but Aquarius and Pisces, I told you I dated an Aquarius. I mean, I dated a Pisces, and that was
The
just
breakup
like
would have been tough. Yeah, the
up and
breakup
down, up
would
and
have
down, up and
been
down. It was like we liked each other, and then it's like we didn't like each other, and then we tried to outdo
100%.
each other, and then we were like not friends, and we were friends, and we started dating again, and we started undating again. It was a whole thing. So, will I date another Pisces? Nope, because my relationship is good right now. Thank you so much. Got a Cancer in my life.
It's oh my gosh, it's funny that you just literally said that because when you said would I date another Pisces, you say no. In my mind, would I get involved with another Cancer? Nah. I mean, if there are any Cancers online right now,
Hold on, let me let Shane know that you're talking about him for a second.
no, I think Cancers like when a Cancer is all in, they're all in.
Yeah.
But to me, in my experiences with Cancers, they like make it out and they play it out like I'm interested in you, and then one day later they're just like not interested in you anymore, and it's like you literally just drew me into you, and now you're not into me anymore. Like I think Cancers be playing,
I
Cancers
will
be
say
playing.
we can be the same though, right? And
Pisces
we're
can
not
be
even
the
talking about frenemies anymore.
same.
We're not even talking about frenemies anymore, but we could be the same. We could let's just bring this back to the conversation. As
Yeah, good
friends,
idea. Mm.
I I am the most loyal friend that you will ever have, and I will ride for you. Like, oh, we don't like them? Oh, we don't like them when they're in the crosswalk? Hold on now.
Same, same.
um, but when you do me dirty, oh, when you do me
Yes,
dirty,
yes.
I will cut you off like the fat on the meat that you're about to throw on the grill. Let me tell you, I will cut you right off because no one has no extra room for that. Okay. And I think being in our 30s now,
We don't have
just
time.
the BS
Yeah,
is you start to just not care. And I get it now. You get it. Or I get it. The older people get, especially the old ones, the ones that are like in their 80s, and they will just say everything that's on their mind. I can appreciate them because
mm.
I've started to get to that point. If it doesn't bring me
Joy.
joy, if it doesn't benefit my life in any way, shape, or form, if I'm not around
Yes.
people who genuinely are interested in me, I will not even think twice about not showing up or going or being around or interacting in that
Yeah.
situation.
I think like one thing that I always see like in my doom scroll, literally in my Instagram has got like when you scroll through my Instagram, it's got three things: my friends, family, life,
Mhm.
naked men, and like just shirtless guys, and motivational, inspirational quotes. And like one of the motivational, like inspirational quotes that always pops up in my feed is like, if someone or a situation um does not calm your nervous system, then that's like a good
Yes.
indicator to walk away from them. So I think that's exactly what you were talking about then. Like if someone doesn't like calm your nervous system, or if being around someone doesn't have your nervous system in a calm like state, then that's like
Mhm.
your body literally telling you like you shouldn't be around this person. Like
Let me say this. If as a friend, as a
mm,
friend, when we go out, you should be my number one hype man, hype girl, hype person. You should be clapping your hands when I'm out on the dance floor. Okay. It should be
yes,
hey. I'm so tired of boring people. Boring people, like really. I just can't do it. If you're boring, if
same.
you're look, let me tell you too. If you're boring, I could be 3 times as boring, and we're both gonna be boring. Because you know what? Like, why did you come out? You know what I mean? Why did you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out? Why did you going to the
yeah.
club? But back to frenemies. I do have a viewer
Hmm?
comment question.
Oh,
This one
geez.
says, "Hey, Paul and Russell, I have a frenemy, one specifically. I keep them around because I want to know what they're up to, and I want to know the cheese because I love to hear what I'm not involved in. However, I also like to hear it because I don't want to be involved in it if I can avoid it. And also, I want to know that I'm doing better than them."
Automatically, my mind goes to one thing, which is like, girl, that is messy. And then the second thing is, girl, I'm here for that mess.
Okay. That's where I was
Like,
at. I was like, you know what? You're onto something. You are
but
onto
also at the
something.
same time, you're like, because like you and I literally just being like, no, if your values don't align with us, get out of our face, get out of our lives. If you don't calm our nervous systems, get out of our lives. Yet at the same time, we're like looking over our shoulder, just being like, what's the tea? What's the tea?
Look, I mind my business, but my ears never close. So if you just
No,
happen to be
bitch.
talking and I'm in the perimeter, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be informed because I went to school to be a journalist and I need to always be informed. So I know what's coming my way.
I
Okay.
love that. I love that. That's where I'm at with that. I think one like I hope it's not coming from an ingenuine place, this viewer story, like that they're not doing it to put down the other person or anything. But three, I literally went from 1 to 3, but three that like, it is a way for them to look out for themselves, because maybe they were burnt by these people in the past to be like,
Exactly.
you
Okay.
burnt me in the past, and so now I'm just going to keep a wall up. I'm going to hold space. I'm going to hold space, and that's where you are. This is where I am. I want to
Yes.
know what's happening with you, but I'm going to hold space because I know that you can burn me. I know that you can burn me.
There's times where I just not test people's loyalty, but I will say something to know if this gets around, I cannot trust you. Because number one, I don't care if it gets around. So I don't mind saying things that I don't care about getting around. But number two, if you're the only person that I told and this gets around,
Mm.
or if you're the
Yeah.
only person I told and there's all of a sudden
Mm.
an issue between me and X, Y, or Z, then I know who the source is.
Mm.
Right. So there's that. Um, And that we're not going to touch anymore on that because we can go down the rabbit hole with that. But I found it hilarious that this person was like, I just need to know that I'm doing better than them. And look, because you're right, it did bring up a notion in me that you're right, you might have been burned by this person. So you need
Mm-hmm.
to keep tabs on them because like
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee's Tempo said, enemies closer, baby. I
Enemies
can't, but I get
closer.
it. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
And
Um,
I think that's just a human thing. Like it's literally a human thing of like, it's how we react to trauma. You can either run away from it, or you can be like, I'm going to protect myself by doing this. Like, it's a human response. And we are all humans. We are human. I don't know
How
why
do
I
you
did
feel
that.
about friends hanging out with enemies? Or how do you feel about friends hanging out with people who you've had either an issue with or who you
Oh,
don't
okay. Yeah, I see where the question is. So,
trust?
yeah, as in like what if one of my besties was like friends with someone that I don't like or trust?
Yes.
So because
And they're also besties with that person.
oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
But I think because I would be at a like I'm at a stage in my life where if I'm considering you as a close friend or as a bestie, like you are genuinely one of my close friends or besties, and I'm
Yes.
able to say anything to you because I know that there's I was almost going to be like holding space. I'm not going to use that anymore. I'll try not to. I know that there's a level of like zero judgment and a lot of understanding in that friendship. And so I would be able to say to my bestie, like, look, I love you, but I don't like them. So, like, if you're hanging around with them and I'm there, like, just understand that I might not be chiming in as much as I would chime in if it was just you and I. Like, I
Yes.
think there's going to be a level of respect. Like, maybe that's where I was trying to get at before. Like, my besties will always be my number one priority, but I don't I try not to hate people because my friends hate people, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
I'll hold space. Oh my god. Yeah.
When is it the appropriate time to cut off a friendship? Because now I want to get into friendships. And again, if you're just joining
Okay.
us on Instagram Live, YouTube, or Facebook, if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please like, subscribe, leave some comments. We want to know what you guys want to hear during our podcast. Follow
Yeah.
Paul at Mr. _Biohan on Instagram. You can follow me at Russell X Raymond. Please follow our podcast, share our posts at Good Day Gay Pod. And now we will continue on to when it's appropriate to cut your friends off.
And I can I just say that this is like one of the best things about our podcast, because this was a viewer feedback about our breakup episode, that we didn't talk enough about friendship breakdowns. And so
Yes.
to that we're coming back, baby. This is what Good Day Gay podcast does. We come back. We give to you guys.
Just like your ex, we come back around.
we give you what you want, just like we gave our exes what they wanted.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I
took away what they wanted. I took it away.
Okay, what was the question?
So when is the proper time to cut off a friend?
I think it's difficult because you might be in a place with that friendship where you're like, we're really close friends, and you might give a lot of chances to that person if they've burnt you or if they've wronged you or whatever.
Yes.
But I think eventually there will always come a time where push comes to shove and you just go, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be friends. And maybe it's not a case of shutting them off, but it's a case of like taking a step back and just being like, you know what, you've burnt me a little bit too much, and we've had these chats before. I've expressed to you how you make me feel when you do said action, and you continue to do said action. I'm like literally sounding like this is how I talk to my staff members. I told you already, don't do that. But like, you know, if you've had a genuine conversation with this friend to say, look, you've hurt me, or your actions have done XYZ and I don't like how that feels.
Yes.
But they continue to do it, then maybe that's a cue for you to be like, look, y'all, I'm going to take a step back. I'm still your friend, but I'm just going to be over here holding space.
I also think it's really mature for someone to have a conversation without emotions being too high. I think there's something to be said about someone who can have a genuine conversation that's like, hey, you're out of line. Hey, you're talking too much. Hey, you're relying messages that I don't want you're supposed to be my friend and this is supposed to be kept with me. I can name a small handful of people who I can just say anything and everything under the sun, and I know it will not make it anywhere else. I also know with these friends that I can be brutally honest. And there might be a moment of separation of, I don't want to talk to you for like 24 hours because you upset me.
But then you'll come back.
But we'll come back to it and be like, okay, I get what you were saying now, but I was offended, you know?
That's a true
and
friend.
That's exactly how we'll address each other. That's
a true friend.
I was offended, but I get it.
Yeah, I think that's a true friend. And I think that also displays emotional maturity to then be like, I can hear, like, one, to acknowledge that you may have reacted in a way to be like, nah, don't even talk to me. But then you can come back and be like, look, I'm sorry I reacted that way. I did hear what you said. And yes, I'm a little bit crazy, but yeah, I appreciate you telling me the truth. Like,
but you should be crazy if you have a good friendship. You should be crazy. You should be Sunday mimosas, falling into bushes, picking each other up, trying to get on scooters, not being able to how to figure out the scooters to get home, and then be like, well, damn, we got to order an Uber now. And maybe getting rejected by 2 or 3 Ubers because you're a little drunk and they're like, I don't trust you in my car. But those are the kind of friendships I want. I want turn up. I want people who I want people who have rhythm. I get it. Some people just don't have rhythm, but I want to have a good time. Even if you don't have rhythm, there are those people who don't have rhythm, but they can still be the life of the party. Like, come over. Like, I recently reconnected with someone who I met in college. Love him. Him and his boyfriend are great. We met through a mutual friend, and like we've gone out a couple times, and it is always a vibe. Like, I love them, and they are just a good time. And you know what? Like, we're just there to vibe. And then if we're getting tacos, we're there to get tacos. You know, and my best friend has jumped in the car and he's like, oh my God, I love them, you know? So surround yourself with those kind of people, especially in your 30s. Come on now.
Yes. You want that level of crazy. Like last night we had a friends miss, me and my friends.
Cute.
And there was a Secret Santa, but I didn't participate in Secret Santa. Sorry, guys. It's just because I didn't find anything that I wanted to buy, because I don't want to buy something that I don't want to have myself. So I didn't participate in Secret Santa, but then I was like, I will be Santa. And so we needed to figure out the order of who gets the presents, like, because it was the Santa steal where you get a present, but you could steal a present.
Got it.
So we needed to figure out the order, and I said to my friends, I'm like, okay, this is how the order's going to go. Whoever last, what was the order of when you last relieved yourself?
It took me a second to get that. It really did. It took me, it took me a second to catch that.
That's
and so,
literally
okay,
me
so
as a friend.
in that order, whoever last, like most recent, or last as in like whoever hasn't?
Whoever hasn't was like last, and that's just me as a friend to be like I could literally be at coffee with like one of my besties, and I'll be like, so when was the last time? But that's how you know I'm your close friend.
Asking those questions in public, Paul. That's a phone or car conversation.
No, if you're my friend, you're gonna talk to me in public about it.
Oh Lord. Don't be asking me those questions in public, because I'll be like, oh, I didn't realize we were sitting with other people at the table.
All right.
Moving on.
I've got
Should we get into the Honor moment of the week?
Should we do a
Oh, you know what? I do want to touch on something, because being friends with your ex is now here we go back to the exes. Being friends with your ex now is kind of a thing, especially in the gay world. In the celebrity world, we've seen J-Lo and Ben file for divorce, and they're still going to lunch together. So do you think that equates to do you think that's healthier post to maybe what we were raised with, right? Because we grew up with movies, even in the Santa Claus, right? With Tim Allen. I don't know what's superficial, but immediately they were just not friends. They were bickering. It was like, we're exes. This is why we're exes. Da, 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 da. Right. But now you see these cases that we progressed so far here in 2020s that someone can rekindle their relationship, get married, get divorced, still be cool, and go to lunch together or support each other's children. Do you find that weird? Do you find that to be a healthy breakup for J-Lo and Ben?
I think these days, like, you can't label anything as weird. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what works for someone doesn't necessarily work for another person. And so for me, like, if I personally ever got into that situation, I just know that things would need to be healed. So I guess J-Lo and Ben, like, they healed. They healed. So good for them.
Did you know, this is a fun fact, did you know 40% of LGBTQ individuals are friends with their exes?
Where are you
Reason
reading this fun
being,
fact?
this was research done by UCLA.
Okay.
And I know my head's a little turned. It's because I have 3 screens going on here, y'all. But it's because a lot of the common responses they got are the reason that they are friends with their exes, because the community is so small that you're bound to run into them sooner or later anyways, because there's limited spaces and limited bars and clubs that you can attend and social spaces that you would not run into this person or someone who is either currently dating them or someone who is friends with this individual. And I think that's unfortunate.
I mean, it's true though, because we were saying it last night at Friendsmas. Like, one of my friends, he I only met him this year. He sort of, like, became friends with the group this year, and he literally said, like, every time he adds someone on Instagram, more like 8 out of 10 times, I'm following that person.
To be fair, let me defend you for a second. To be fair, you are a social butterfly. You will talk to anybody and everybody, and you also give off good vibes. So there's not a reason to, like, dislike you, So I could see how you could be friends with everybody. I know a couple people like that over here in the States too, especially in New York. But let's move on to our no moment of the week, because
wait, we got a viewer story. We got a viewer story.
Oh,
I got a viewer story.
Let me
Girl, I got a viewer story.
No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Where is
just
that?
Leave it there.
All right, I'm gonna leave it.
You leave it. Just
Go
leave
ahead, Paul.
it there.
All right, so
stage. Caught up with a friend for coffee the other week, and he told me the best story, and it is involved with, like, exes and everything. So I was like, this is perfect. I need to tell this story. So again, friend is friend is remaining anonymous. So Anani.
Hi, Anani.
I think our gays are called Anonis.
Anonis.
Gaylenial
Anonis.
Gaylenial Anonis. Okay, so Anoni had started hanging out with a guy that he had known on and off for 10 years. Let's call him Matt. Matt and Anoni had hooked up in the past, but as Anoni didn't live in Adelaide at the time, nothing serious ever progressed. Cut to now, and Anoni was living in Adelaide. Matt had recently broken up with his ex and wasn't ready to jump into a relationship, but was happy to start hanging out as friends with Anoni.
Okay.
One night, when Anoni was at Matt's house for a games night, they drank too much red wine and Anoni couldn't go home. Matt said he was excited for their first sleepover together and asked Anoni to sleep in the bed with him. Anoni got into the bed wearing jocks, but Matt got into the bed fully naked.
Okay.
Under the sheets, Matt grabbed Anoni's hand and put it on his hard...
Yes.
And said...
Eggplant.
Yep. Eggplant. And said, you can do whatever you want with it. Anoni was obviously happy that Matt was now comfortable to move into a friends with benefits situation. They previously had had really good sex, and Anoni was keen to ride that train, bus, ride it again. Over the next, I'm like now reading this story, and I'm like, 1, what's the point of this backstory? But 2, I'm here for it, and 3, it's touching on all the things that we said today. Okay. So over the next 2 months, Matt and Anoni hooked up several times and hung out in very datey situations.
Okay.
Like having movie nights, going out for hikes, having lunch, going shopping, etc. Matt was about to go on an overseas holiday to Europe and gave Anoni the impression that maybe he would be ready to officially date when he was back. While in Europe, Matt sent Anoni a suspicious message saying that he had decided to get back with his ex while reflecting on his holiday, but he
Okay.
asked Anoni to reply to a message he was about to send, requesting that Anoni said that nothing had happened between him and Anoni.
Oh no.
So a text then came from Matt saying, "Can you please let my ex know that there was nothing going on between us?" Confused, annoyed, and suspicious, Anoni replied, "Why would I say no? That's not true." Thinking that maybe Matt's ex was just being petty and jealous and wondering how his ex even knew Matt and Anoni had been seeing each other, Anoni messaged the ex on IG saying, "Hey, Matt has said you've asked if there was anything going on between us. If you've got any questions for me, now's your chance. Ask away." The ex then asked, I love that I'm the one telling the story this time because usually I'm you being like,
Oh my
okay,
gosh. I'm sweating. I don't have a
ask,
towel around me either.
ask
Okay.
away. The ex then asked if Anoni had ever met Matt in real life, to which Anoni said, "Yes, we are friends. I've known him for 10 years, but we've been seeing each other for more than the past 4 months." The ex then asked Matt if Anoni had ever had sex in the past 4 months, to which Anoni said, "Si, yes, oui." So it turns out that Matt had unofficially broken up with his ex.
Oh
Sorry,
shoot. Are they still together? Do we know?
I was just gonna skip past this part. Oh, okay. So the problem was Matt had told the ex he wasn't having sex with anyone else, but in reality was hanging out with the ex one day and seeing Anoni the next. Even more crazy, the ex confronted Matt about his lies. Max blamed Anoni, saying he is no saint. He is no saint. Anoni then also realized the only reason Max had planned to go to Europe was to go see the ex while he was over there on holiday. Oh my gosh, I'm like reading this for the first time as well.
Oh my god.
realizing
Right
how
now.
much I know, right? Realizing how much of a pathological liar Matt was, Anoni and the ex both blocked him on all social media platforms and started forming a bond over how effed up the
Yes.
situation was.
Amen. Thank you, Anani. Good job.
But long term, however, the ex didn't want to stay in contact with Anoni, only because he had dated Matt for 2.5 years and chatting with Anoni was too harmful. But yeah, that's crazy, right?
What
Like
if Anani and the ex
literally,
start dating?
that would be cool. Oh, actually, I don't know if that would be cool.
That's why I was
But what?
waiting for the story to go that they started dating. But I
But
was still shook.
the gag for me was when Matt said to Anoni, "Hey, I'm gonna send you a message, and I need you to lie." That is a gag.
Look, I just might have forwarded that screenshot over to Matt, right? Matt. I would have screenshotted that message from Matt to Matt's ex, and I would have said, look, this is what happened. We let's get it on is what we did. And this is where we're at now. I did not know if you guys were a thing. Oh, we are so gonna go over our time today, but I
We're
kind of
going
like,
over
do you have
time.
time? Do you have time?
I've got time. Let's
A little bit
let's
of
let's
time?
give the viewers like 15 more minutes. Y'all get
Okay.
15 minutes today.
Look, I want to get into this a little deeper, right? So
Okay.
now I lost my train of thought because I got
We
so
gave them
excited.
15 minutes, Russ. We gave them 15
But I'm gonna give you
minutes.
15 minutes worth of drama right now. I would have screenshot that and sent that over to Matt because, or not over to Matt. I would have sent that over to
The X. You would
Matt's
have
ex
sent
because let me
Matt's
tell you,
question to the X.
yes, because I am in no way, shape, or form part of this, and I don't want to be dragged for anything. So don't involve me in your guys' drama if you guys haven't officially broken up, and that is your mess. But that should tell you everything that you need to know about your relationship, because if this happened when you were unofficially broken up, then you should know that this is not the person for you and that you should
Yeah,
probably just move on with your life.
exactly. Exactly. I feel sorry for X.
I am shook.
But
We have
you
more
know
people
what?
joining the chat. Paul just told us that there was a situation. There was like, it was almost like just a love triangle going on, right? And Matt
But
was in the middle of it.
it wasn't even a love triangle. Like it was like Anoni
A
thought that
deceit
he had something
triangle.
going on. Anoni thought that he had something going on with Matt, yet Matt's like in the process of getting back with his ex. And then shafts Anoni and says, "Look, we can't be together anymore because I'm gonna be with my ex, but can you just tell my ex that nothing ever happened?" Like,
Nope.
how many
As the Lord
episodes is
Jesus
that?
Christ said, I must not tell a lie. So if somebody asks me a question, I am going to tell you the truth because I cannot be a sinner. I shall not. Jesus died for my sins. Apparently being gay is a sin. So Jesus died for us. So therefore you should be gay. Quotes.
For the gays.
Quote.
For the gays.
Okay. Therefore you should be gay because Jesus died for you to not live your life. Come on. Live your life.
I'm so happy that I gagged you today, Russell. Like
I
usually
am
you're the
so
one.
shook. Oh,
Yes.
I'm
I won
stressed
this week.
out.
I won this week.
I'm gonna take a nap today because before I go out because I don't. That was just a lot going on.
Oh no.
I
Oh
did
no.
have a little bit of a viewer story too, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna save that for next week for the thirst traps.
Okay.
So
All right.
if you guys are new
You
here,
make
we
sure you
have
say it.
Mr. Joey Hatch tuned in London. Who is hey everybody. So this is Good Day Gay Podcast. You can follow our page at Good Day Gay Pod on Instagram. You can stream us live on YouTube every Friday or Saturday, depending on our schedules. Or you can catch up and start your week off right by streaming us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. So
yes,
let us know. George said, were they exes when Anani and Matt were seeing each other? Yes. Right?
Yes. Matt told Anoni that they were exes.
That's what Matt said, but they weren't actually exes.
In reality, they were like trying to get back together.
Got it. Okay. So in reality, they were working through things, and we don't know the agreement that was necessarily made, whether they were going to remain exclusive to each other or they were just going to play the field.
No say.
By my opinion, I hope they stayed single and away from each other because that's R&R for me. So going into the R&R moment of the week. Oh, what's your R&R moment of the week?
Okay, so every year I try to, always write down New Year's resolutions, and for the most part, like I always achieve what I set out to do in that year.
Yes.
Recently, or like in the past few years, one of the New Year's resolutions that I always wrote down was to like be comfortable spending time on my own and being comfortable with my own time in my own company. Mm-hmm. So yesterday I realized that I'm so freaking comfortable with myself because I was really having a full monologue by myself in the car, everything.
You know what? I have a friend that's a psychologist, and that's healthy to be talking to yourself and having disagreements or arguments or whatever with yourself. That's healthy.
Literally, because I'm having a full conversation with myself. So I'm just driving and I see this runner like on the sidewalk and he's running and I'm just like driving, looking at him and I'm like, that ass. And then he's running and I'm just like, that ass. And then I go, oh, am I becoming the top that I always thought I would be? No, I'm becoming the verse that I knew I always was. Oh my God.
That you were born to be.
Look at my arms right now. Look at my body. Okay, Paul, you need to stop talking to yourself.
No, look, I've done the same thing.
That's literally the thing going on where I'm like, ass. Oh my God, I'm a top now. No, I'm verse. Wait, look at my bicep. Oh my gosh, Paul, what are you saying to yourself right now? And then I laugh because I think I'm funny.
I'm the same way. I be doing that all the time. Like, I told you needed to vacuum the house.
Come on, Russ.
Why do you always do this to yourself? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Listeners, if you talk to yourself, give us one of these emojis. You know, the salute emoji. If you talk to yourself, listeners, give us the salute emoji.
If you talk to yourself and you don't want to admit it, give us a hair flip. Okay, so
what's your oh no moment?
My no or moment of the week was I was helping my friend move last week because he's going on a cross country trip with his mom because he's moving to the East Coast. I have his old address in my phone. Right? I sent him a message. I said, "Yo, what's the addy, daddy?" Exclamation point. Okay. I'm like, why isn't this fool responding? He always responds. Like, he's quick when he responds. Like, he will get back to you within 2 to 3 minutes. I'm like, damn, it's been like 30 minutes. And I told him I was going to be there at 11:30. Like, we're coming on 11 o'clock now. It takes almost 45 to get there. And I'm like, why has he not responded? I'm like, whatever. So I'm finishing getting ready. My mom responds. And she says, what does this mean? And I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh my God, that was for Garrett. But I was like, oh my God, my mom thinks I'm doing things, just asking people for their names or addresses and calling them daddy. I was mortified. And I had to see her later on that night. I was like, oh, geez. It was my baby's birthday because he's just turned 18. Happy 216 months to Jacob, because it's an inside joke to my family. But I'm like, oh, geez, I can't believe I accidentally texted my mom. And they're not even remotely next to each other in my top 8 on my text message thread. They're like on opposite ends because, you know, in conversations to the top. So I pinned my mom in one corner and then Garrett is in the other corner. So
yeah.
How did I mess that up? So now my mom thinks that I'm sending daddies questions to ask for their addresses because I was supposed to be texting Garrett. So then I text Garrett and I'm like, what is the address? Because I was
not
so
even daddy.
out.
From now on, I'm literally gonna say that. What's the addy, daddy?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I can't believe I just sent that to my mom.
I love
it. So that was my oh no moment of the week. Something else happened too that I just cannot remember at this time, but I'll probably throw it on the Instagram on Good Day Gay Pod. Please share our podcast on your stories. When we share it, please go into we'll start posting it on the actual page and we'll link Paul and I's page so you can share it to your stories. But please share it. We do appreciate it. Give us some comments whether you like it or not.
Yes,
so that we know what to fix because we're trying to get paid. Okay. We're also on our way to 100,000 followers. So we are working that and we need your help getting there because once we reach 100,000 followers, Garrett is going to be asking us for the addy daddy because he's going to help us move to New York City.
New York.
Next week's preview, we will be talking about thirst traps on the internet. Why do gays always follow those pages where people don't have shirts on and their booties are just out in the open?
That ass.
With that being said, we'll see you next week on Saturday. Are we aiming for Saturday? Saturday, Sunday, your time. Friday, we'll find out midweek. We'll let y'all know.
We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know.
But we will see you next week. Thank you for following us today for the hour and 10 minutes that we've been on. If you missed this, you can go back. It will be released tomorrow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or you can just check it out on YouTube. Page is in my bio. Page is also in Paul's bio. So please send us a like. Please send us a comment. We'll see you next time.
Bye.